My name is Coach Shawn Patton. I am the assistant O-line coach at Lassiter High School, as well as the owner and operator of Lineman Guru Training out of Georgia. Matter of fact, Marietta, Georgia. Today I'm going to be discussing the first steps for offensive linemen. Many schools they teach what may be zone, maybe RPO, or those different offenses. And the first step of offensive lineman is very important as far as the run game is concerned. I did a couple of videos on just to show how the first step are as far as on the offensive lineman. I'm gonna pull it up right quick, and we'll discuss this footwork. As we can see in this first video, first thing I always look at, I make sure to the stance is perfect. Most coaches, you got to make sure that your lineman stance is in it's not really a comfortable stance, but it's where he has to make the right movement, the right steps. As you can see, this young man has his right foot back, left foot up. Basically, he's in a good stance. And I usually tell my linemen to make sure, if you want to, put your play foot up and your other foot back. But in this stance, you kind of see it's kind of parallel, that he's going to make his first step and is going to do what he got to do with that. But what I'm talking about as far as the offensive line, and I know I got a couple of videos that I couldn't find on here, but I'm trying to find them. But you know how that goes. Let me go. But what basically we're talking about as far as I want to first talk about the zone blocking. Zone blocking is pretty much a lot of times is a 6-foot step, 90 degrees. What I teach our offensive linemen is an overtake block, which meaning that your step is going to go into the crotch of the defensive player, and you're going to drive him to the sideline. And what happens is a lot of times that when we do a zone, most running backs are going to find a hole. And say, for instance, we're going to run 24 or 25. So basically, we want to do an overtaking step. So when you take an overtaking step, it's going to cause you to overtake that defensive lineman to the point where he cannot do anything if you split his body in half. So if you split his body in half, that'll cause you to overtake him to the highest level. So this young man, same kid. Now he's in the forward motion. We got your power hand up top. You got your regular hand on the ground. So when he makes his step, he's going to be inside of the defender. He's got his shoulders width apart. His hands are in a good position. So his hand, once his hand comes up, he's already going to be in position to engage the defensive player. So the first step, I tell a lot of times as coaches, a lot of coaches want to do the different zone steps, and they do it differently. But I've seen the zone step work with the overtake step. I have seen a running back that had almost 2,300 yards on the ground because of the overtake power step from the lineman. This is one of the drills that I use for first step. This young man right here, he's getting ready to do first step. This is a drill that I use a lot of time for offensive linemen. It teaches your first step. It teaches your zone step, left and right. So basically, it's using the hurdles as your first step. Making sure you pick up your feet. Make sure you're moving your feet. Make sure you're doing everything you can to get your first step correct. And I use this drill constantly. This is one of my everyday drills that I use, especially when you're trying to teach kids the zone step, the power step. So basically, this is the drill that I use when it comes to the different steps. But today I just want to talk about the zone step, first step, reaction, hand placement. A lot of times when we run a zone, we want to make sure the hand placement is in the right sense. First, you want to make power step to your defender, hands on, drive. So we go on, say if we're going to the right, we want to make a power step to the I always say the middle part of the person's body, the defender's body. When you step your foot inside him, you got your hands on him. Now you can take him anywhere you want to go. I always tell players, split the guy in half. So if you think about it, if a player is you split him in half, you take one side of him, then it's going to be easier for you to defend it. It'll be easier for you to overtake him. And that's why I tell them a lot of times you gotta do those things to make sure that you can overtake him. This young man he's 10 years old. So you see he's already in position. You already see his feet are in the position. Okay, you see the hurdles that I have here. The hurdles I have here are basically I'm teaching him the first step. So you see he has his shoulder width apart. I put the cone. Y'all see? I told him I'm telling him to back up because I'm going to show him how his first step should look like. Internet, I'm having issue with internet, but that's okay. So he's basically showing him how to make his first step. And once he makes his first step, as you can see, I'm going to show him how it's done. His first step's got to be important. First step, left or right. Okay, for left or right. Footwork is important. Left or right. Now teach this combination steps. All right, and then we're working on coming off the ball. Y'all see, explosion, exploding through his hips. So basically, when you're running the offensive line is important. Your first step, hand on body. All right. You see, he's already shoulder width apart. He's zeroing in on his target. That's what I tell all the time offensive linemen. You got to make sure you zero in on your target. All right. Zero in on your target. Zero in on your target. And also, we're working on right there. We're working on getting to the linebacker. So a lot of times in the zone, you got to get to the linebacker. So you got to always put your hand on the guy inside of you. Because if we're running a zone, all right, we got a guard, tackle. See, this young man's going to be the guard. He's considered the guard. You got a guard and tackle. You got a three tech. So that's meaning that you're going to go run the ball to the left side. So you're going from right. So you got to have your tackle here, your guard here. This guard has to get hands on this tackle in order for the zone to work. He has to put his hands on this tackle to get upfield. So what I did on this drill right here, I basically got this. This is considered the tackle. All right. This right here is the shoot next to him. This is getting upfield, staying low, getting upfield to the linebacker. Now, if you go to the linebacker, you can't go to the linebacker high. Most linebackers going to come downfield. They're going to crush downfield. Because once they see their ball movement, they're going to slide into the gap. So what he has to do, he has to double, or basically, I used to call it a piggyback. The guard going to have to get his hand on this tackle to get him moving a little bit so the tackle can get underneath. So it's basically just movement, the quick movement up front. I'm gonna show you. Let's look at it. Hopefully it'll play. You see how he reacted. Now see how low he is going up to the linebacker. He's already parallel. He's parallel to the line of scrimmage. Look, the linebacker can come down. He's already ready. He already squared up on him. But it's a quick hit. All right, quick hit. Footwork again. Footwork is important, guys. Footwork is important. I tell coaches all the time, footwork is important when you're teaching and coaching your offensive line. Offensive line need that footwork, guys. Need the footwork. That's the only way you can be able to be successful on your offensive line. They got to have footwork, especially in the zone blocking scheme. Your footwork is very important. And a lot of times, even with the RPOs, run pass, you still have the same concept. Most offensive line when you run that RPOs, you run pass. You got to know how to block it. And what happens a lot of times, the blocking scheme, it kind of wavers a little bit when it comes to the offensive line. Some coaches will tell, we're going away from the defensive end, we leave them alone. We're going play side, we got to get it. So basically, what we have to do, we have to know who we blocking. Offensive linemen sometimes don't know everything. Coaches, we got to coach them up on those things, especially when it comes to the keys. If we got a defensive end coming up the field, all right, we got a defensive end coming up field. We as coaches got to realize that we got to go underneath that line. If he's going to come up field, I'd rather have one-on-one with a linebacker. And that's got to teach how to teach our linemen. Your first step is important. Right foot, left foot. Engage. When you engage somebody, you take them down there. All right. So basically, the first step is what I'm talking about tonight. Zone stepping, RPO stepping, pistol stepping. Everything in the offensive playbook, it consists of the offensive line making the right steps, making the right blocking scheme, making sure they're holding blocks, make sure that the running back sees the hole. I've learned that over the years. Sometimes the running back ain't not paying attention to the hole. You got to do the block to the whistle. That's the blocking scheme that I see that a lot of coaches are running now. We gotta make sure that we're taking the correct steps on the field, because it's gonna make our offense better. Coaches are teaching. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes in your practices, when you first start practice, this is a drill that I always do. Stance and starts. Because you want to make sure your offensive line got the proper stance. You can't make your first step if your stance is lacking. So every practice, before I have practice, this is what I do. I do a first stance and starts. So what happens is when you're drilling into the kid's head, you're constantly telling them stance and starts. Then all of a sudden, it'll come natural to them. Y'all see, basically, stance, first step. Y'all see that? Stance, first step. Stance, first step. Stance, first step. Right foot, left foot. So basically, he's teaching the zone stepping. Left, right. So this is what we're basically discussing. This is what we have to do. And it's a drill. Stance and starts. That's how you get to a good first step. Stance and start. Now he's gonna teach stance and starts. So this is a everyday drill. Every practice, stance and starts. For offensive line, stance and starts. Even with the D line, stance and starts. Same concept. The bodies have to get used to being in this position for a long period of time. A lot of kids, muscle tissue, a lot of kids, back muscles, knees, hips are not ready for it. So we have to drill it to them. So stance and starts, constantly. So he's teaching the same concept of stance and starts, making sure your first step is good. All right. Now this is basically let me turn to the video. This is basically this most important thing, stance. Y'all see stance. Constantly. Stance, starts. Y'all see it? Stance, start. These are everyday drills. This is an everyday drill. You want to see this every day. Everyday drill. Takeoff, same concept. All right. So basically, just being footwork. There's some keys. I said stance and starts. First step, read your defender, right? Make sure your hands in good position. Dry your feet. All right? That's basically what it means to be on your takeoffs. All right? So this is what we have to do every series, every practice. Stance, starts, stance, and starts.